Hi guys, just following on from yesterday's post regarding Andy's lesson, just a short video to explain the changes that I made and the reasoning behind it. Thanks for your efforts on the thread. It can only help the network and help you guys learn with exercises like this, as we all do. I think no matter where you are as a coach, you're always picking new ideas up and new ways to solve problems. So this is just my take on the lesson, the changes I made and why I made them. I'm not saying these are the only changes that could have been made. They're just the changes that I felt were most appropriate based on Andy's background, hence the way I worded the post. And he's a social golfer. He's at the early stages of his golfing life. There's a lot of things in there that I still don't like, that I want to change. But he's come to me this lesson after having a 6-week period hitting the ball really solidly, despite having his own way of doing things. A few little things in there that, like I said before, I would change. I think we all would. But the important thing is here that he is striking it well and he's just pulling the ball slightly left of target. And he's only desiring this lesson, at the start of the lesson at least, was to straighten up that ball flight. He wasn't asking me to improve his contact, anything like that. His priority was straightening that ball flight up, getting it back to where he'd had it during the 6-week period between his lessons. So when we looked at his swing down the line, as most of you pointed out, pretty good looking P4 for someone at the early stages of his golfing life. Accumulator 3 fires a little bit too soon. Shaft gets too steep. And then the key for me was P6. P6, clubs above plane. Hands out in a bad spot and wrists out in the best condition they'll ever be, but ultimately that sweet spot is too far out in front of him. So really all I'm trying to do here in the limited time that I've got is move everything sort of back in here. I want the hands, the sweet spot, and the right shoulder and the elbow back a little bit. I just want to move everything back. So, as some of you pointed out, there's problems with accumulator 3, there's issues with the elbows. The shoulder tends to come out in front of Andy a little bit too fast as well. And the swing direction is certainly slightly out to in, or slightly to the left, should I say. Producing that pull shot that he's getting. So if we go back to P6, I just wanted to tidy that up as quickly and as efficiently as possible without causing too much upheaval to the rest of the swing that he's making, because obviously he's been enjoying his golf, and whilst we've done a lot of work, I want him to have a period where he can just go out and play some golf, more importantly just straighten up the ball flight and have an understanding of what's going on. So the change I applied related to pressure point 5, which is the right arm against the torso, and in particular the underside of the right arm. The advice that I gave Andy was to squeeze the underside of the right arm against the torso at setup. As he did that, you can see here I put the red line on his shoulder. That just brings that right shoulder back. So as he squeezes pressure point 5 on the underside of the torso, or the underside of the arm, should I say, he's just pulling that right shoulder back, which should have the desired effect we want at P6. So I'm just going to zoom that out a little bit. Have a look at the overall movement. So shoulder alignment slightly different. It's not a big change. Like I said, could have gone other routes. I just felt based on the situation Andy was in and what he was asking me to do, this was more appropriate. Gets the club a little bit deeper at P4. Which, again, if the swing was a little bit longer, that would be a little bit more on plane. But, at the end of the day, for someone who's pulling it a little bit deeper at P4, for me, isn't a major issue. The issue is related to, obviously, what happens P4 to P5. Accumulator 3 was releasing too fast. Shaft was setting too steep, sort of encroaching onto the right shoulder. Whereas now, I was using an old SD card for this one, guys, so apologies for the jerky nature of some of the footage. In transition, accumulator 3 doesn't fire quite as quick. Is it ideal? No. Is it better? Yeah, that was the only remit in this lesson. Like I said, we had a limited amount of time to improve things. Obviously club head now, always above plane on the left hand image. And as we said, we want to just move everything in a little bit. Over on the right hand image, trying to keep that squeeze on pressure point 5 all the way through the swing. Starts to have the desired effect. Club now much more in at P6. And the swing direction at P6.5 has changed dramatically. Delivery into the golf ball more from the inside rather than the outside. So, you know, not a massive change. Was it an important change? It was for Andy. It was quite a straightforward change. An example were using your pressure points to alter the alignment of the torso or the shoulders can have quite a good effect on a student's swing. You know, it's just a variable that we use. We all use it, and I just thought that was a good example of a situation in a lesson where we could have done a number of things, but we just chose a really simple fix that had some good effects on Andy's swing, the delivery of the club into the back of the ball, and more important, the shape of shot that he was hitting, which was the request at the start of the lesson. I want to stop pulling it. I want to get my little draw back or my straighter shot back. Club in more at 6. Hope that helps. I certainly learned little bits from the thread. I think the exercise that Parky and Thomas started is good. I think, as Oscar alluded to, we could maybe tweak things a little bit. But for now, I think it's a good way of getting everybody communicating and getting some ideas shared. So it can't be a bad thing. Have a great 2016, guys, and I've no doubt we will speak again soon.